Alright, howdy y'all. My name is Abraham Vasquez. Today we're talking about how to set up a charcoal grill for indirect cooking. The 4 steps to doing indirect cooking. You first want to start off by gathering the equipment that you will use to light up the fire for the charcoal grill. Second step is to actually light the charcoal for the charcoal grill. The third is to create the different heat zones so you can cook the meat on one side and then have the charcoal on the other side. And fourth, very important, controlling the temperature inside of the charcoal grill. So for the first step, getting the equipment, of course you want a charcoal grill. Doesn't matter what size as long as it's a charcoal grill where you can put the charcoal inside of it. Second, or the next thing you're gonna want is the actual chimney starter. I actually have an example here of what that looks like. To use a chimney starter, you will want a fire starter on the bottom, charcoal on the top with a little bit of lighter fluid. Then you light the fire starter on the bottom, which then lights up the coals on the inside. After those coals gray out, that's when you know to put the charcoal inside of the charcoal grill. A long lighter is also really good to have, that way you can light the fire starter on the bottom of the chimney. Heat resistant gloves are also really good to have in case you need to touch the chimney. It's going to be very hot after you light the charcoal. Drip pan and tongs are also very good to have, and then 2 thermostats, one for the meat and then one for the actual charcoal grill itself. Second is lighting the charcoal. As I explained, you're gonna need this chimney to light up the charcoal. And like I said, the very important thing is to actually wait for that charcoal to turn gray. That way you can pour it into the charcoal grill. And then next would be creating the 2 heat zones. Once you throw the charcoal inside of the actual charcoal grill, you want to throw it on the left side, which is where the charcoal zone is going to be at. And then the food and the drip pan are going to be on the other side. You usually want the food on the side where the top vent is at. And next would be controlling the actual temperature of the charcoal grill and the temperature of the food. So you want to manage the vents. Usually there'll be 2 on the side and 1 on top, depending on what kind of charcoal grill you have. Keep the lid closed as much as you can. That way, heat doesn't escape. Watch the grill temperature and then check the food temperature. Going back to the chimney, King Ford actually explains that a chimney starter allows you to have that things such as newspaper or the fire starter to light up the charcoal, and the charcoal will gray out. And then also, according to Weber, indirect grilling allows you to have the charcoal on one side and then have the food on the other side. That way it cooks like an oven. And then going back to checking the food temperature, you want to have a thermometer. That way it's good. The U.S. Department of Agriculture actually says to do that as well. So really want to check temperature, that way it's not wrong. Thank you.